Good evening, everybody. I'll just read out the minutes for the webcast. May I remind everyone present that the meeting is being recorded online via YouTube, and the recording will be archived for future viewing. Could all councillors and officers ensure that when they speak, they switch their microphones on, and when they are finished, switch their microphones off. This is extremely important for the live stream to ensure that the cameras will be focused on the individual who will be speaking. Welcome all to the meetings of the Standards Committee on Monday the 1st of September 2025. Can I have any apologies for absence, please?
Thank you, Chairman. We've received apologies from Councillor Clark.
Thank you. Do any councillors have any declarations of interest to declare on the items under discussion for this evening? No? Thank you. I propose the approval of the minutes, of the public minutes from the previous meeting. Do I have a seconder, please? Councillor Mansfield, thank you. We will now go to the vote. All those for? Any against? No? And an absence? Yeah, abstaining. Thank you, Councillor. I'm not aware of any urgent business for consideration at the meeting. Thank you. Now we're going to appoint the Vice Chairman. Could I have any nominations for Vice Chairman for the ensuing year, please?
Could I nominate Aaron, Councillor Mansfield? Sorry, it's been that long.
Do we have a seconder for Councillor Mansfield? Councillor Beach, thank you. Can we all vote then? Are everybody happy with that? Or can we vote? That's unanimous, thank you. Any abstentions? No. I now invite the monitoring officer to present the report and explain the procedure for the consideration of the request received from Councillor Saeed Hussain. Welcome, Saeed.
Thank you, councillors. Councillors, I appreciate that we don't have a standards committee all that often for this type of matter. So, as things progress, please ask questions as you need to. But I'm hopeful that the report that was sent out has covered all the main points for consideration tonight. So the report before you is a request for a dispensation from Councillor Saeed Hussain, and it is specifically related to local government reorganisation. Some members may already know that local government reorganisation refers to the structural reform of local government, typically involving the consolidation of existing councils such as a county, district or borough into a new unitary authority. And this process is currently underway in Staffordshire. By way of background, Councillor Hussain is both a borough councillor here at East Staffordshire Borough Council and a county councillor at Staffordshire County Council. Because he receives an allowance for his county role, this creates what is called a disclosable pecuniary interest. That means, under our usual rules, under the Constitution, he would not be able to take part in debates or votes about local government reorganisation because there's a conflict. However, Councillor Hussain has applied formally and in accordance with the Constitution for a dispensation. He has asked that he be allowed to take part in debates and votes on any matter relating to local government reorganisation up until either the vesting day of any new authority created by the government or until the Borough Council elections, whichever comes sooner. Under the Constitution, the monitoring officer is not able to grant this dispensation, and so the request has been referred to the committee today. The Standards Committee has broader powers than the monitoring officer and may grant a dispensation where it considers that, without it, political balance or representation would be affected. Granting it is in the interests of residents in the borough, or where it is otherwise considered appropriate. So when considering this request from Councillor Hussain, members should have regard to the nature of the interest, the need to maintain public confidence in how the council conducts its business, because there is a conflict, the possible outcome of votes in this matter, the importance of efficient and effective decision making, and any other relevant considerations. The recommendation in the report, councillors, is that the committee decides whether or not to grant the dispensation, and if it is granted, agrees the period for which it should apply. That is my report, Chair. I'm happy to take questions, and if there are no questions, perhaps it is appropriate to allow Councillor Hussain a few moments to speak on his application. But happy to take questions first if there are any.
Any questions for the monitor, sir?
Thank you, Chair. Has Councillor Hussain sort of brought this for himself independently? And if so, should we not be looking at this for all of the other members who are also dual hatters, if you like, county and borough, as a broader topic in light of the current sort of talkings regarding local government reorganisation? Should it perhaps be a broader conversation than this committee's conversation and be a full council or all members discussion, if not a full council decision? In sort of legal terms, does it have any advantage or disadvantage to be addressed for everybody by everybody?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Councillor Beach. I sent an email out to the leaders of each party approximately 4 months ago, inviting any dual-hatted councillors to come forward so that a dispensation, to submit a dispensation application if you're dual-hatted. Turns out, and I wasn't aware of this at the time, that Councillor Saeed Hussain is our only dual-hatted councillor, which I found surprising too. Therefore, we just need the standards committee to hear the application. I too was surprised, Councillor Beach. Theoretically speaking, it could be considered in front of full council, but given we have the one councillor, I think it's right to do it here in standards committee. And selfishly, perhaps as the monitoring officer, I'm thinking to myself, if we're going to sort dispensations, I want it done before any future meeting on LGR. So I don't want to drive it too close to any kind of date. So, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Councillor Mansfield.
Thank you. Similar to Councillor Beach's, presumably there's no need for parish councillors to have any kind of similar dispensation for dual-hatted borough and parish or town councillors.
Through you, Chair. No, I do not believe that to be the case, Councillor Mansfield, purely because most parish councillors aren't remunerated, and I think their interest as a parish councillor, as a district councillor, is more of an ORI than a DPI, so it's not a pecuniary interest in my view. Plus, I think at this stage, and where LGR is in Staffordshire, parish councils aren't in the pot, so to speak. So any future decisions to be made is not really going to have a bearing on you just yet, on the parish councils just yet, if that makes sense. So,
Thank you. Any further questions? No? Then I'd like to invite Councillor Hussain, who's joined us today on Teams. Councillor Hussain, do you have a statement to make in supplement of your dispensation request, please?
Thank you, Chair, if I may.
You may.
Thank you. Thank you. Respected Chairmen, members, thank you for allowing me the opportunity to address this important matter today. As you are aware that I serve both as borough councillors and as a county councillors, and to more precise, the only dual hat and the only twin hat. And it's a privilege to serve both borough and county as the only member in this council. That dual role gives me a unique perspective on the challenges and opportunities we face, particularly in the context of ongoing discussions around the local government reorganizations. We are entering a period where differing views and proposals may emerge from our respective authorities, the borough and the county. While that is to be expected in a healthy democratic system, it also raises the potentials for perspectives, perceived or actual conflicts of interest for those of us who serve in both capacities. I'm here today to request a dispensations that will allow me to continue participating fully in debates and decisions on this matter at the borough level, even where there may be a divergence in the positions taken by the county council. Let me be clear, my commitment is first and foremost to representing the residents who elected me. They expect and deserve to have their voice heard on all matters affecting their future, including something as significant as local government reorganizations. A blanket exclusions from speaking or voting on this issue would not serve the public interest. It would in fact silence an important voice in the room, not for personal gain, but for democratic accountability. I am seeking this dispensation not to sidestep transparency, but to uphold it. I will continue to declare my roles openly, act with integrity, and make clear where my views are informed by my experience on both councils. But I do not believe holding dual hats and dual roles should be a barrier to contributing meaningfully and responsibility to this process. I respectfully ask this committee to grant these dispensations to avoid any ambiguity or chilling effect that might otherwise prevent open, honest, and necessary debate, and to ensure that my residents remain represented in full. Finally, I would like to thank the officers of this council, especially the monitoring officer, for his impartial opinions to draw this statement. Thank you once again for your indulgence, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Councillor Hussain. Does anyone have any questions for Councillor Hussain or the monitoring officer following that? Councillor Beach, thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Councillor Hussain, can I ask, have you applied for a similar dispensation from the County Council? And if so, was that voted upon by a committee? What was the outcome, etc., if you're allowed to disclose? If not, can the monitoring officer enlighten in that manner? Is Councillor Hussain allowed to tell us if the county have had this conversation and what the outcome was?
I believe that that is information that Councillor Hussain could share if he wants to.
Councillor Hussain, do you want to respond?
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you, members, for these questions. And as I mentioned, honesty and open and representations, I would like to uphold this one, and I would like to facilitate. And this is the first process, and these are all on the way. And my monitoring officers from the county councils, I'm sure she is giving me the necessary advice how to proceed with this for the county as well. And in due course, it will be, I will share with the council as well. And also our next county council meeting is next October, and I'm sure I can share more about it in due course. So this is just first step, I would say. Yeah.
Monitoring officer.
Thank you, Chair. Councillors, I will just add there as well, and as I understand it, Councillor Hussain is waiting on a possible dispensation from the County Council. I'm not clear what their processes are for dispensation. It might be that the monitoring officer at the County Council has delegated authority to issue dispensations as she needs to. Here, my remit was more limited. There's only certain scenarios when I can grant a dispensation, whereas, as I said in my opening, the committee, you have a much wider discretion to consider it. But I don't know, Councillor Beach, if that's the same at the County Council, whether or not it's entirely delegated to their MO, or whether a hearing might be needed, just for information. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Councillor Hussain, would you like to say anything?
Yeah, Madam Chairman, points I would like to clarify here, that unlike the Borough Council, in the County Council, we got many twin haters. Then there's my other colleagues in the county, they are also borough and the county. And I believe in due course, we will be enlightened with our monitoring officer and whatever the important development I got it from the county, and I would like to share this one through the monitoring officer where it is being needed.
Thank you, Councillor Hussain. Are there any further questions from any members? Councillor Mansfield.
It's one from the monitoring officer. Just on a practical note, how would the dispensation be communicated? So would Councillor Hussain, for example, have to declare in the chamber before he spoke on a matter related to this that he got a dispensation? Just think for people who might drop in on the YouTube or something, how they'd know that this has been granted.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Councillor Mansfield. So it'll be a combination of, yes, he would have to, although if a dispensation is granted, so when it came to the decision on LGR, he would have to stand up and say, I do have a I do have a conflict of interest, I do have a DPI. I have been given dispensation by the committee and I'm allowed to vote and participate in the discussions. Alongside that, on the council's website where your register of interests are, there'll be a reference as well to the minutes of this meeting if it's the will of the committee to grant dispensation. So yes, he would speak before any meeting to say I've got dispensation which allows me to participate, but it'll also go on the register of interest on the council's website, and it'll specifically reference these minutes and the vote that the committee have taken. So thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions? Councillor Beach.
I don't know that it's a question or more a statement or asking for others' opinion. From where I'm sitting, if we were to vote on this, we set a precedent by which another monitoring officer has then got to either counter or concur. Would it not be wiser to wait for a legally qualified person to have their opinion and then review as this committee, once the county council monitoring officer has had a legal look at this and considered it with far better knowledge than, for example, us as committee members without the legal background? I would feel more comfortable personally that due process had been completed in that sense. Not that the monitoring officer's recommendation isn't appropriate in every way it can be, but if he doesn't have the remit to do so, but the county does have purely from the monitoring officer and it doesn't need to go to a committee, are we jumping the gun?
Thank you, Chair. Absolutely not. The county monitoring officer has nothing to do with this council, so whether or not they've got delegated authority or whether or not they have to go to a standards committee hearing as well, it's by the by, has no bearing on us. Councillor Hussain is in the unique position of being both a county councillor and a borough councillor, so he has to abide by both rules, and our rules are that where I can't grant a dispensation to him under my delegations, and if you go through the report you'll see what my delegations are as the MO, then it has to be done by the standards committee. And so what we're following today, councillors and members, is the letter of the law, so to speak, which is our constitution and which specifies this process. So I think I appreciate what you're saying, Councillor Beach, but waiting for the county council, it's a little bit of a nothing, if you see what I mean, in this particular instance. They've got to decide by their own rules and constitution, and we've got to decide by ours. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Any further questions? No? Sorry. I would like to propose that we grant dispensation to Councillor Hussain for a 4-year period or until the end of the LGR process. Could I have a seconder, please? Councillor Shrive. Can we all vote on that proposal? All those in favour? Any against? And any abstentions? Councillor Beach, thank you. In accordance with the Constitution, the Monitoring Officer will now notify the Councillor of the Committee's decision and reasons in writing at the earliest opportunity and any event within 5 working days of the decision. Thank you. I now invite the Monitoring Officer to present his report.
Thank you, Chair. Councillors, on the general standards front now, rather than dispensations, it has been relatively quiet. I've had some recent feedback from Mayfield Parish Council, which I will mention in the private part of the meeting only. So speaking generally, we have one. Apologies, Chair, if you want to give Councillor Hussain permission to leave or stay, it's fine.
Hello, Councillor Hussain. Do you wish to stay for the rest of the meeting or would you like to leave now?
With your permission, may I leave?
You may, thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, John, carry on.
Thank you, Chair. Coming back to where I was, we have the one investigation that's ongoing at the moment, which is fantastic news, and that's from Roaster. But I've received an update from the investigator, and he's reiterated that it's been hampered by a lack of information from the parish council, and in particular some of the clerk and staff. But the investigator has said he's got to move on. He's in the process of drafting his final report, and I'm expecting it to be with us in the next week or two, and that's our only outstanding investigation. Once that report comes in, we'll be able to, as the monitoring officer, will be able to provide comments, so will our independent persons, and we'll then hopefully be able to finalise the report and look at what needs to follow. But generally speaking, we've not received any standards complaints since the meeting of the last standards committee. We get a few flare-ups, but nothing which has resulted in actual complaint. And also the standards refresher for members went well, councillors. I think most councillors who were not able to attend have now watched the recording session, and yes, that was the midway term refresher for councillors on the code of conduct and sanctions and what have you. I've got nothing further to add, Sharon. Happy to take any questions.
Any questions following that? No? Thank you. Right, we have 2 items to consider in private, so I'll now move that in accordance with section 100A(4) of the Local Government Act 1972, the press and public be excluded from the remainder of the meeting, as it's likely in view of the nature and the business to be transacted or the nature of the proceedings that there would be disclosed exempt information as defined in paragraphs part 1 of Schedule 12A of the Act, indicated in brackets before each item number on the agenda. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Mansfield, thank you. We're not... Oh, sorry, that's it. Oh, take a vote, sorry. Take a vote on that. Yeah. Thank you. Any against? No? No, thank you. We'll now go... Oh.